Got a question.
All right. Welcome.
I find myself in conversation with a lot of people and also coming up a lot of myself. I'm curious about ways to navigate feelings of guilt around privilege and opportunity when it comes to coming from like a country like the US and a situation that where I'm at now, I have the opportunity to travel and have flexibility and have levels of income and things that feel a lot higher than most other humans are experiencing right now. Um, and feeling kind of just, I feel like I'm sort of just ignoring it right now. As I'm making plans or feeling into things that excite me, it feels very present, this sort of guilt, but not really being sure how to work through it.
What do you suppose is beneath the feeling of guilt?
I guess what comes up for me now is maybe a fear of judgment.
Yes, that is a very good answer because that the way that guilt is essentially used. Judgment is a way to elicit this feeling of guilt that brings others to comply with certain ideas and behavior. So, what we would say is guilt itself is often a cover emotion. The same is true about shame. Guilt and shame have a positive use and a positive occurrence. When you do something that causes harm to others, to yourself, this emotion arises so that you can return into the state of equilibrium and right relation. So if you're feeling guilt, it's important to ask the question, what have I done wrong? And if you have not done anything wrong, there's no reason to feel the guilt. So look a bit deeper. Beneath it, a fear of judgment. But others will have different responses to as to why they feel guilty. It takes a certain level of self-inquiry to be able to even find an answer. And this is akin to many sorts of things that people feel guilty about now in your modern world. That there is this sort of intention to influence the collective consciousness in a way so as to imprint this feeling. As people who feel guilty as if they are part of the problem will not actually hold those who are responsible accountable. And another example is the idea of the personal carbon footprint, which was launched in advertising campaigns funded by the biggest producers of oil. We can't yet pinpoint who and how this idea of being guilty about your privilege became so commonplace. But absolutely, elite forces were involved in making or bringing people to think this way. Because when the masses feel like they don't deserve their own privilege, they will not be as powerful in challenging the system that creates inequality unless you yourself are directly responsible for creating the inequality. it follows that it absolutely isn't your fault and there's no reason to feel guilty. And then beneath the other emotions, there's deeper digging that could be done. But how does that resonate with you?
So profoundly helpful. Thank you so much.
Yes. We would say also explore beneath that level of fear, as fear can be a way of dealing with many other feelings. Sometimes these feelings are anger, sometimes they are helplessness, sometimes they are a sense of loss of self or even sadness. As many of these feelings of that are beneath the fear are feared because they make you feel as if you don't have control. And your whole world is orchestrated by controlling beings who want, or who rather influence the masses to attempt to control and micromanage, as in doing so, they miss out on the big picture. So explore what is beneath all of these feelings and recognize again. We'll say it again because sometimes many people need to hear it multiple times. If you're not the one responsible for creating, there's no reason to feel guilty. Yeah, with so many other things like racism, like climate change, like this and that. Ways that you are taught to think that you are doing something wrong when all you are doing is living the life that you were born into. And others have created these systems, and your compliance and your resignation creates the perpetuation of the systems. So, another way that we might encourage others to break free and step into a level of empowerment is, instead of comparing yourself to the least privileged, compare yourself to the most privileged and consider that you are closer to the least privileged than you are to the most privileged. This will be true for the most of you, because after all, a billion is 100 times of a million. Just think of that.
Wow. Thank you so much. So much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.